Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Daily's 2A News. Today we're going to be talking about how and why Sig Sauer is pulling out of the next SHOT Show. Let's talk about it. Now, for those of you who don't know, SHOT Show is an industry-only trade show that happens every single year in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, it was canceled in 2021 for obvious reasons, but it is a massive trade show, easily the biggest in North America, possibly the biggest Second Amendment and outdoor-related trade show in the entire world. It takes up 4 or 5 floors of a convention center, and it's just absolutely massive. There's no way to see it in the amount of days that they have for you to actually go around. There's no way to make it to every single booth. It's 4 or 5 floors, hundreds of thousands of square foot each, and so it's huge. Now in 2022, they say that it's going to be so big that they've actually built a walkway to another convention center where that's going to be filled up as well. So you're talking about linking 2 different convention centers for the size of the 2022 SHOT Show. And for Sig Sauer to back out of going to something like that, it's pretty big news. Okay, so according to Sig Sauer, there's a couple different reasons that they're not going to be attending the 2022 SHOT Show. Now, one of the reasons is because as they've sent people out to different conventions around the country throughout the past year or so, each time that they do that, 3, 4, or 5 people will come back sick with you know what. That causes problems because obviously these people need to return to work and they have to quarantine. And so Sig Sauer says that they usually send to SHOT Show around 145 people. A much bigger number, probably 10 times the amount of people that they would typically send out to these other conventions. And with that many people involved, they got a little bit worried about, too many people getting and then that causing a bigger problem for the company. So they actually did say that that was one of the reasons that they backed out. Currently, as of right now, there's no mandates for SHOT Show. You don't have to show anything. You don't have to prove anything. You are going to have to wear a mask, but other than that, that's pretty much it, right? And so Sig Sauer says that they're a little bit worried about that. Whether or not you believe that or you understand exactly what they're talking about, from a financial standpoint and, an employee resource standpoint, right? Because these people are going to be down for a while if something happens there and they're not going to be able to return to work and so forth. Whether or not you understand that is up to you, but that's the statement that Sig Sauer is giving. They're a little bit worried about too many people being at next year's SHOT and that being some type of problem. So with that being said, they also gave a second reason. So the second reason was that the booth that they have, which is usually massive, I mean, it's 2 stories. They have conference rooms up top. It's not like these other booths where you walk up and it's like 6 feet of space and there's like a plastic table with different products on it and stuff. You could talk to people and learn what they have. I mean, we're talking about massive floor space, probably 2 times the size of a standard 2-car garage, and it's built up and it's just massive, right? There's TVs, there's screens, there's new products, there's all sorts of stuff, and it's usually really cool. It's usually one of the best that's there. Well, apparently their booth where it was located, or where NSSF, who runs SHOT Show, had them located, was right in between other booths that would basically box them out. So it would box around the SIG booth and create a problem for them. And so they didn't like that area. They had to basically change up plans, move areas so that they could then build it somewhere that's a little bit more advantageous because they want their brand out there. They want people to stop by. They want to be seen. They want to be known. I think that's probably, a good business idea, right? You want to be seen, you want to be known, you want people to stop by, and they weren't able to do that in their current space. Well, moving to that new space and then building that new booth was apparently going to cost like $1 million. $1 million, and that's an investment that they would have to make up front prior to the show. So if they have to invest $1 million plus man hours in the building of that booth or in getting everything ready and getting everything figured out and ready to go for SHOT Show, that's a big upfront cost, and they're still a little bit worried that maybe something happens and it's canceled once again. We have the holidays coming up and things that could change, the outcome of what it looks like next year. Again, regardless of what you think, that's just what, one of the things that they're worried about. And so that could change the makeup of what January or the end of January looks like when the show actually takes place. And so they're a little bit wary of putting out that much money up front in order to get that booth in that space and all the, the details that need to be worked out just in case things get overturned. Okay, by the time the show actually is supposed to start, they would essentially lose all of that. So it's employee resources, it's financial issues, it's where they were going to be located and so forth, and then obviously the current situation of what's going on right now. So there's a bunch of different reasons that they give for not making it to SHOT Show in 22, but for me, as my own personal opinion, I just think it's a bad business move because, one, it kind of makes you look bad for those people that don't see what you're doing eye to eye. For those people that don't see exactly why you're backing out as a valid reason to back out. It just, doesn't make sense to a lot of people to back out of something so big for reasons that were currently stated. And I've talked to people about it who kind of feel the same way, where they're not 100% sure that they believe the reasons that they were given about this. Now, I will put a link below to a video where you can actually listen to the interview that was given by them. But there are people out there who just don't see it eye to eye. Number two, obviously, being somebody as big as SIG, you don't necessarily need to be at SHOT Show, right? You don't need to be at the show. You have so much marketing, and you have, these people that are out there pushing things for you, and you're on social media, and you're all over the place. You're already in the world. You in militaries and law enforcement, and the public, and just you're everywhere. You're already saturated. You are sewn into the fabric of the Second Amendment at SIG. And so maybe they don't need it, but I know SIG's got some things that they're going to want to show, and they're not going to be able to show them at the biggest arena for them to be able to show those things. And so as for me, in a business sense, it would make sense to show up, take precautions, do whatever you can to make sure that your people are safe, build the booth, and show that you're there to not only just support the NSSF, but you're also there to support the Second Amendment and the outdoors and the industry as a whole, and kind of being unifying instead of just backing out. Now, according to SIG, they are going to be giving $500,000 directly to the NSSF in order to support their causes, which are preservation and safety and things like that. The NSSF actually does a lot of great work that you guys don't even hear about. So it's definitely a great organization, and it's nice to see that SIG's still going to be supporting them financially. But I would like to see them there. I think that just having a unified presence at that show is kind of a big deal, and it means a lot to a lot of people as well when you're going back and you're walking around the floor and you're seeing everybody that's there. Not seeing SIG is kind of a big dent in that. And so I think that image is also something that could be at risk here. You want people to see what you got, people to see the things that are coming up, but you also want your image to be, hey, we're part of this, we're in it with you, we're here, and we're going to trudge forward on this one. So again, they're not going to be at the 2022 SHOT Show. If that changes, I'll let you guys know, but I think that's pretty big news. Thank you all very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.